welcome. Food and Philosophy episode 27. Today I got tacos veganos. Got the quesadilla taco, and then I got a pork quesadilla. This in, dip it, dip it, dip it. Now, birria. I was having a conversation with some friends the other day about how I think every single birria place that I've ever been to, that they don't know how to make birria. It's a huge problem because birria is such a big trend that everybody makes birria and they're making it ahead of time for large consumptions, but they're always overcooked or dry or and this here, well, this is a little spicy. It's tied on the spicy side, maybe too spicy. If you don't like spicy, it's too spicy for you. But the fact that this is plants, it means it's not dry. This is quite possibly the best birria I've ever had in my life, and that includes meat birria, because every place I've been to doesn't know how to cook their meat. So much so that when I see a birria place, I'm like, I don't even want to eat there. If you're vegan, this is a 3 out of 3. Means you have to eat here. In high key, it's a 3 out of 3 as well for even if you're not vegan. And then I got the El Pastor burrito. I don't eat pork normally, so I was like, oh well, I don't eat or quesadilla. I don't eat pork anyway, so let me try this fake pork quesadilla. Oh, I think there's a little pineapple in here. Literally, there's pineapple in here. I'm allergic, so but this is dirty. They got their sour cream. All right, this quesadilla. I don't care that this is vegan. If I fed you this, I just brought you lunch and didn't tell you it's from a place called Tacos Veganos, you would think this is dirty. I'm gonna give this the pineapple's kind of messing up my mouth because, like I said, I'm allergic to it. I'm still gonna give it a 3 out of 3. I would probably want to get this as a burrito instead next time, like the rice and the beans and all that stuff. Maybe I should have got a burrito, but I was feeling the quesadilla. This is delicious, so I'm gonna give Tacos Veganos a 3 out of 3, which means you should eat here, especially if you're in town. At least it's messing up my mouth, and I'm still gonna eat it. All right, one more bite for a. So it's a soup that's spicy. It by itself is not that spicy. I got the upgraded consomme, which I don't know what the difference is. But it was like $1.50 charge or $2.50, something like that. I do not vape. You get a mayo? What does that mean? All right. Oh, it's X talk time. So I don't know why. Probably because it hears my conversations. But the fact that people aren't having kids keeps popping up on my X feed. And from both sides, like, why are women not mating and why are guys not choosing to do the same thing? And they both seem to be making great cases. The women are like, oh, well, all the guys are pieces of crap. All the guys, but whatever, fine. So say I'll say, okay, fine. A lot of the guys are pieces of crap. That's not even. Well, say if I'm willing to say, okay, fine. All a lot of the guys are pieces of crap, which I don't agree with because I see the narrative that if you're a guy that you're automatically wrong. It kind of really doesn't matter what it is. And I'm just talking about the narrative on X. I'm not saying you're saying that, and I'm not saying that I agree with that. And I'm not saying I feel like a victim because I'm a guy. Not saying that. Just talking about what's going on my personal X feed. So then we get the girls, the female side saying that. And then we got guys going, well, why would I want to get with a girl? And they have their reasons too. And it's basically, I can see why both sides think that they're correct, whether or not they're actually correct. But I can see why they think that they're correct. But in reality, there are 7 immortalities in life. 7. 7 different immortalities. The easiest way to attain one of the immortalities of life, the easiest way, I'll put it in quotes, is to literally have a baby and your s- genes get passed on. I've been blessed in that throughout my life, I've had people say, hey, can I just use you as pay me a stud fee for mating purposes only? Use this for mating purposes only. But when it comes to actual relationships, it seems that, well, we already see that relationships long term. If you look at all relationships, like most humans have a 99%. We look at all humans put together, it's a 99% failure rate in relationships. Not then once you count the fact that marriages have a greater than 50% failure rate as well. And for the particular tweets X Z, what do you call them, that I saw were, hey, what's up, Cheyenne? Were that as women get older, their clock ticks. And so she was saying, hey, don't, she was yelling at everybody, stop saying I need to get married, stop saying I need to have a kid. That's not even what I want, kind of thing. They were making fun of her because she did seem like she was actually upset. That I don't know if she was really upset of the critique or she was really upset because she wasn't able to find someone yet. And then she was bad mouthing guys. And then I saw, obviously, right underneath that, some guy saying that can't turn a OF girl into a housewife, and that whole thing. People have been saying that for since long time ago, right? Before OF was a thing, and he was saying the same thing. Or if you look at sexual partners and blah yada yada, why would you want to get in a relationship? And if you're not in a relationship, then why would you even want to have a kid with somebody you're not in a relationship? And again, like I said, you can see why the both sides of this would be like, oh, fine, I don't want to have a kid. But in reality, it's only one of the 7 immortalities of life. And even now with social media, the other immortalities that you can get, we're able to become immortal way more than just through our genes, that it also is going to make it less likely that people are going to actually mate. Not because there's anything wrong with the other sex that you're not, but because you have way more ways than in the history of life to be immortal. And once upon a time, the only way to be immortal was either to be a conqueror or to spread your seed. And often the conquerors were the ones spreading their seeds too, so they were double dipping. So don't feel bad if you want a kid and you don't have one, and don't feel bad if you don't want to have a kid and everybody wants you to have one. You can be immortal 6 other ways that don't involve actually having children. And these days, you can save your seeds on either side and still have them in the future if you change your mind someday. So, the seven immortalities, I'll go through them real quick. Obviously, having kids, that's one way to be immortal. The physical immortality. Two, second one, your social leadership and influence. You can literally be an influencer. You could contribute to society. You can be a leader, so much so that you live forever. The mental quest, you can write books, you can be a teacher, you can, and same with the spiritual quest, you can become a philosopher of some sort. You can contribute, you can invent something, you can write great works, whether it's fiction or a movie or poems or art. Your career, you can start a business. Ike's literally gonna have my face on it, and hopefully it's around for another couple hundred years. Is the immortality, the career immortality? Let's see, we got financial immortality. You can go out and create great wealth systems so that your wealth gets distributed forever, or you can donate to create a hospital somewhere or a school, and your name will be on the school. When Ike, the second Ike's was at the Jensen Wang School of Engineering, and that's gonna probably be that for the rest of its life. And Ike's was at the Forbes Family Cafe, so the Forbes use their financial wherewithal to do that. And what's the last one? Relationship. Your relationships. You could be such a great person in your family that they have your picture on the wall, literally, or they name their children after you, or grandchildren after you, or cousins, and things like that. They tell stories of your life. So those are the seven ways to be or mortal. And these days, you can totally be any of those seven way more than in at almost any other time in the history of the world. You don't have to be a conqueror anymore or have kids to be immortal. That's my X talk. Speaking of Xing for kids. All right. The prophet Khalil Gibran. And an astronomer said, Master, what of time? And he answered, You would measure time, the measureless and the immeasurable. You would adjust your conduct and even direct the course of your spirit according to hours and to seasons. Of time, you would make a stream upon whose bank you would sit and watch its flowing. Yet the timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness and knows that yesterday is but today's memory, and tomorrow is today's dream. And that which sings and contemplates in you is still dwelling within the bounds of that first moment which scattered the stars into space. Who among you does not feel that this power to love is boundless? And yet, who does not feel that very love, though boundless, encompassed within the center of his being, and moving not from love, thought to love, thought, nor from love deeds to other love deeds? And is not time, even as love is, undivided and spaceless? But if in your thought you must measure time into seasons, let each season encircle all the other seasons, and let today embrace the past with remembrance and the future with longing. Master, what of time? In the timelessness and the spacelessness of your world, not just the one that we all share and live in, but your world, which things do you place time and space limits on? Look at your life right now. You are boundless, you are timeless, you are spaceless, and at times you're also massless when you're having those moments of gratitude or moments of enlightenment, and no matter how brief those might be in your whole entire lifetime. What are things that, while they're spaceless, timeless, massless, and chargeless, you still place limits on? Look at your goals. Specifically, look at things that you want that you don't have, and you're projecting into a future, and you're like, "Oh, I don't have love, or I don't have money, or I don't have success, or whatever your version of that is." We all are weak somewhere. I'm an amazing person, and I still have a huge challenge in a couple of areas of life. I'm making those timeless and spaceless areas of my life bound by time and space and limited by those things. Limited in time because I want it now versus anytime. In space because I'm like, I want it right now instead of holding space for it to be somewhere, sometime, some space. I love you too, Cry. Thank you. What are your versions of that? In Look at your past, where you keep past memories, good ones, bad ones. Where does it reside for you? When you observe the past, are you peering towards your left? Are you peering to your right? Somewhere else? Are you always in the recesses of your mind living in the past? Hopefully projecting onto the future. But the thing is, if you live in the past, if the past wasn't the way that you wanted to be, and you're going to project it on to the future. Hey, Kasani, miss you. So where does your past reside? And where does your future come from? Here you are, and it's the present moment. Where does the future come from for you? How do you know when you get there? Is the future right now or is it the present? You would measure time, the measureless, and the immeasurable. This is where anything that's going on in your life that you don't want, or results that you want but you don't have, this is where the trouble comes in for you. Because you're in the realm of all time and all space and all possibilities. You're wanting it to be right now, when in reality, it might not even be happening right now. It might already be happening, but somewhere else for you. But you limiting it, attempting to measure it, you would make a stream upon whose bank you would sit and watch its flowing. Time is invented by us. And then we watch it pass. We have clocks. I have one on my phone. I have another timer going for how long this has been going. There's a clock over there. We're measuring different things. I'm measuring since I started. This is measuring the time of the day. Over there is also measuring some other stuff, like what's going on. And his recordings is a different time than my recordings. And we're all, what are we measuring? And if things don't happen in the time that it's supposed to happen, then we automatically lose. Instead of just living and putting our attention on what we would like, we focus on tomorrow and we focus on yesterday instead of what would I like. And right now, I'm totally speaking to myself. Um, Not literally, because there's a few people in the chat. There's someone else in this room. But I've been dealing with my own goals and not having them happen. Goals that I had were true like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but now they seem to have slipped. The results seem to slip through my hand and they're no longer accurate. But I want it to be like it was. But in the future, or today, or right now, in the treating of your life with time and space in regards to that, where have you been wasteful of either? If you put in, hey, I want this goal by this time, and then probably a lot of people that you learn from say, hey, you need to have a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic, and then a time to it, right? Putting those many limitations on that, you're literally limiting time in your space. And that doesn't mean that SMART goals aren't useful. It's just a different way to look at things. Because where are you wasteful of either? I mean, look, if you did SMART goals or any kind of goal, and then you're like every single time you're like it's gonna be this time, and then you do it, then yeah, it would be very, very, very useful. But how often are you like, here's my goals, here's when I'm gonna do it, here's how I'm gonna do it, here's how attainable it is, here I'm gonna measure it, and here's how whatever, right? And then you don't get it, then it's not useful in that context. And if it's not useful sometimes, then it's probably gonna not be useful generally. And the times that you got it wasn't because you did a smart goal. You got it just because that was something that you did, probably something different than what was in the smart. Because if everything is always now, the only time you get is right now, and then right now and right now, and I don't know where my past went, and I've had a freaking really amazing past. I had some terrible stuff in my past too, but some amazing things that I will hold in my heart. Like there's uh, um an amusement park in my heart where some of my most wonderful memories still live, and I can go and re-experience them anytime, like going to Disneyland or something, but inside of me, and really be with them and feel them and love them, and maybe even have some mourning for them, like, oh, I wish it was still true, but definitely some deep appreciation and gratitude for them. But that's still not right now. Oh, I can feel them right now, but the experiences in the past, I don't really have those experiences now, outside of time and space, but then I do. If I feel them and I be with them, I can be with that person again, or I can eat that great meal again, or I can be visiting that place again, or having this experience again. But if it's all always now, everything, then what are you waiting for in the gaining of your goals? If everything is all already, what's stopping you from having those feelings now? Like, what will having that do for you? What's stopping you from having those things right now? Maybe not the specific result that you want, but the feelings that go with it, the beingness that goes with it. Because even if you know that the entirety of time and space is a deception, because we made it up, you don't have to be complicit in that deception. You don't. Quit being complicit. Because the timeless in you is aware of life's timelessness. The part of you, especially your feelings, your emotions, that's you can access feelings from any time and any space. You already know that. You can go remember something and feel it right now. Thank you, Jack. But we make up that that's not good enough. And that which sings and contemplates in you is still dwelling within the bounds of that first moment, which scattered the stars into space. I'm pretty sure they didn't have the Big Bang Theory back then, but it's eerily similar to the Big Bang Theory. This is actually him writing in where timeless and spaceless, like he put a cap on it there, because from our human experience we can only imagine that there was a nothing and then there was a beginning or something like that. We'll try to fathom that the world always was, or the universe always was, or God always was, or mother nature always was. Maybe earth got created 5 billion years ago or so, but the universe itself was always there. And from a human capacity, we're like, wait, we can't even contemplate something that never wasn't, like that it was always there. But anyway, so here's him saying that. But the feelings that you feel, the good ones and the bad ones, were always there. Sometimes they reside in you, and sometimes they reside in someone else, and sometimes they resided 20 years, so whatever, 8 billion years ago, 20 billion years ago, putting a cap on time and space. But they didn't just get created by you. Might be felt by you, but you did not create those things, those emotions. They were already there. And you feel them. You make that feeling mean something. The cycles of your life are more like concentric spheres being built upon or built down upon each other. As he says, But if in your thought you must measure time into seasons, let each season encircle all the other seasons. These are all concentric circles of experience. As we're building concentric spheres up and down, it's love all the way up as you're moving up the concentric spheres of experience, as you're becoming more full of the light elements. Moving up helium, like literally on the periodic scale. It's love and light up there, gratitude, joy, the light feelings. And it's the same, but the opposite. It's distorted love all the way down as you move down the concentric spheres, down in the spheres of awareness. It's all distorted love. It's love anyway. It's love up, it's love down, but it's distorted down because you make things mean something different. Reintegrate into love. As if you find yourself going down, reintegrate into love. Like, it's really tough when you think things are not going the way that you want them to go, but reintegrate it into love and watch as life and space and time and place, watch as they slow down. The greater your time horizons are, the greater the reach of the infinity in you can have. You already have a great reach of infinity. You're limiting it. Make your time horizons greater. And anytime you're out of integration from love, favorite quote I've been living, the last like 10, 12 days is, if you get what you want, great. And if you don't get what you want, even better. Master, what of time? Oh, look what came up in my book. See this? See that? Is it terrible? This is me at, that's my girl Sandra at Hurricane Sierra way back in the day. So I was either 15 or 16 in this pic, maybe 14. Anyway, speaking of time, oh man, I remember that Ike. See, and now I like automatically feel how I felt there. See, time is timeless. Space is spaceless. This is a long ass time ago. Sick transit Gloria. Your well being and his well being was his greatest contribution to humanity. No exceptions ever. Hooray, Creo. I answered that like an hour ago, so you're gonna have to watch the YouTube episode. Go to when episode 26 comes out. I did a whole rant on real estate. Bang bang.